All right, guys. So, want to make sure everything running right. First time I've streamed to the YouTube. Think everything's running good. Yep. All right. So basically, what I'm looking for here is today's been a very choppy day. Um, just looking at this from, I like to use QQQ as a guide. Just basically Vanguard tracking the Nasdaq. I'm just gonna get rid of this. I've been trying some new things with that. Not a huge fan, honestly, of it right now. It's definitely not working on a day like today where it's very choppy. Um, there we go. So what we're looking for is this is today's price action here. We got an opening range, which is 15 minutes on either side to kind of show you what we've been working with. Earlier, taking some options and kind of got wrecked on the options. I was trying to take longs going into this little pivot here and got railed. Could have taken my profits, probably made like 80, $90, but got wrecked. I think I stopped out right around here. Um, and then later on, when we crossed back over the opening range, the second time here, I took a short and came back up and stopped me out. Got wrecked on that as well. All in all, lost a lot of money today on the options, but we're trying some futures here. Overall, looking at a longer term here, we've obviously been bearish, been on this big pullback here. We've been getting this big pullback off of the highs here. We had a double top. We broke the low here for a change of character. Going into this, though, it looks like we have maybe five waves coming down here and that we're doing some sorts of ABC retracement coming back up. Um, Otherwise, this could just be a wave 4 or 2 of something much larger and we could be going all the way back up. That's not personally what I think is happening. I think what's more likely here, looking at a daily chart, sorry about all the lines, guys. It's a little hectic for sure. But um, looking at a daily chart here, this red line that's right above R3 is our 200-day moving average, which has been starting to flatten out. And our 10-day moving average is crossed down beneath of that. And our 21-day moving average is looking to cross underneath of that. The 50 is way up there still. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come back to this 200-day moving average at some point during this week. That's probably what the most likely output is. We need some sorts of bounce. We came down like a total, I think, of like 10%, 11%, even more than that, about 13% in total. So it's really not looking great over the past month, and they need some sorts of bounce. It doesn't just move in one direction, even during a market crash. If you go back and you look at 2008, you look at 2000, didn't just move straight down. There was a massive dump and then a pump back up. It's kind of what they would call a dead cat bounce, um, but it's a little bit preemptive to be calling it that. Typically, a dead cat bounce wants to come down a little bit further first. And it looks like this is just going to run away from our entry here. It doesn't want to let us in. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that there. So yeah, looking at a daily chart here, it definitely looks like they want to move this market back up and retest this 200-day moving average at least from the other side. And we do have this gap here in the chart that they'll want to go fill. I wouldn't be surprised to see that by the end of the day, we are either right at this gap at around 483, if not working our way into it. Um, Going back down into a 30-minute chart here, you can see that from the pattern formations we got down here at the bottom, we have a nice little W double bottom at the bottom here going into this cup and handle. That is what I was looking for from the very beginning of the day, but I got FOMOed into these trades from mainly from my father, being on the phone with him just because he's a very short-term scalper, and he was saying this could be really bad. And even going into today, I figured that we broke above um, in the morning here in the first 15 minutes. And I figured, we'd come back and at least retest this um, area over here, this area of resistance, to see if we could support off of it, which wouldn't be that nice cup and handle formation that we're starting to get now. It's pretty clear that the rest of the day is going to be bullish from here. It's just a matter of how bullish it'll be. And once it breaks over this high here, the next resistance would be at this gap start, or well, I guess the gap end. So that'd be right around here at 483.96. Um, So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a pretty bullish momentum for the rest of the day here. I probably should have just waited. And, it's done pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to do all day. And that's the part that really bothers me. When it was up here and I was taking that original short, I was thinking the lowest we would probably get is pivot, um, maybe to this first target on the opening range breakout strategy on the Lux algo. But I figured that looking at this, we'd be breaking down beneath this recent low before we broke out. So it was probably unlikely that we'd come down to here unless if we were really coming down further. And I figured if we came down to this first target, there was a good chance that we'd try to come down and retest this gap that we made. But typically, when you're coming off of some sorts of bottom, which is what I think we have here, some sorts of bottom, um, and it's temporary, I don't think it's necessarily going to hold forever. We might come back down again after FOMC, but I think overall they want to hold this gap. It's a gap and go on that day. And so it's just probably the pattern formation's a nice little W coming into that cup and handle here. Um, so yeah, you can see we got that breakout up, and this is just the cup, or well, I should say the handle. Now we're making the cup. Okay. Um, so looking at that, I would expect that we can look for some trend lines here to draw. Um, so looking here, I'd say we have some pretty strong buying going on right now. And once they break over these highs, we should really just be going because there's really no resistance for it at this point. Looking back at this chart, let's come down to like a 5 minute zoom out. As you can see, there's really no resistance here except for this high here. So we should just immediately squeeze past this high here. Um, but as you can see on this volume profile, this is just today's range, this volume profile, you'll see that we have this valley here. So typically the charts like to come back to this point of control, which is the most highly traded area of the day. So I think it'd be pretty likely that we come back down at some point here and try to retest this. That would also be a retest of this breakout of this W formation. It would make a lot of sense for it to come back. Understanding that we have R1, resistance 1 on the pivot points right here near the highs, I would imagine that we're probably going to come up to that, touch it, and come back down to retest this. From there, it could take all the rest of the day to try to break up, and by the end of the day, going into power hour, you could see a rally rip much higher. So that's what I'm kind of looking for here. I'm looking for a retest of these points here. And so typically what I'll do on Qs, because obviously the prices don't align, it's usually about a point on the Qs is about 80 points on the NASDAQ. And so what you want to look for is you can either do the math or you can just kind of look for the general area. So looking at this, like this candle right here on the 5 minutes, right before we dipped again and came beneath the opening range a second time, that's what we look for over here. Um, so going into the 5 minute chart, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and no, 1, 2, 3, 4. So four. So get rid of that, get rid of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be like right around that candle there. This candle here. So where we're looking for it to pull back to. That would make a lot of sense considering that we closed here on this candle and we came back and retested all the way down here just to open. We opened here, came back down, and then rallied up. So this is pretty much the first point of, you could say, a retest. And you can see here on the 1 minute chart that we did get this slight pause before rallying higher off the 10. But you can see that this rally is still just going to keep going until we can cross back over this 10 EMA. Once we cross over that 10 EMA, you could see some support at the 21. That'd be your next stop. But chances are we would just come back down to the 50 at some point here. The 50 is just about where we want it. Um, so the 50 on the 1 minute's looking like a good target to buy. You don't want to chase these rallies up. You really easily could pass some of these combines. We're gonna try to go for like a 2 day pass on these combines because it's really not that hard to, and you don't actually even need to gamble as much as people make it seem. People make it seem like you're gambling if you're passing these combines in 2 days. Truth is that if you wait for a good entry and you find one of these movements, you're gonna pass the combine in 2 days. You know, like when we cross over this high here and we get this slight pullback and we refuse to go underneath of the 10, you could have just bought right here on the break of this high and you would have been good. You would have been golden. You'd be 50 points in the money, and that's going to be like $1,000 with just 10 micros or one mini. So, the way it goes is this could easily make or break you, depending on whether or not you thought you were going short here. But I can't imagine why you would think that you're going short here, considering um, when you break over this high here and then come back down to make a higher low. So now you're making higher highs, higher lows. You've changed the character for the day. And so once you break over this high, you wouldn't imagine that it double top again. This should just break out from there since you have the support. Buyers came in and they showed that they were clear on wanting to buy it up from this point down here. And they didn't want it to go lower than even this point. As you can see, there's probably a wick on it. Yep, there's a wick right here. So they didn't even close it below this low here. So, but like I said, we are just gonna keep rallying until they can find some sorts of resistance, which is likely to be met somewhere around here. Um, Breaking over these highs here would mean that you're gonna squeeze because all these shorts that have came in today would be underwater. So if you were really good and you're moving the markets and you're the one that went massively short up here at the top to build this resistance and you started to short it here and here, for example, you could have made money all the way down. But the thing is that once you get back above them, you're going to start stopping out anything that you haven't taken profit on. So you'll get a little bit of a squeeze. It's not going to be a huge squeeze because the day has been fairly choppy all day, and they do want to try to keep this within a range for the day. For the day, they don't really want to break this out. It doesn't make a lot of sense to break this out. When you look over here, these are the top holdings of the S&P. Apple's just slightly negative. Nvidia is a little bit more negative. Let's look at that real quick. Nvidia is pretty negative. It's been dropping all day. Wanted to come down into this gap, tested the gap, immediately rallied. So, if you see Nvidia start to cross over here, because this is a 5 minute chart, you got the 10 and the 21. 10 and the 21's already crossing over. Once these cross over the 50, it'll be really bullish. The problem is that the 50 is really downtrending, down sloping, so it's going to be a lot of resistance. What they're going to want to do is they're going to want to try to keep it sideways here and build some sorts of support here, which would be kind of like a head and shoulders coming back up, and that would start to flatten out the 50, making it a lot easier to get past it and go. If Nvidia goes up, I would imagine the rest of the market's going to go up as well. Um, Tesla's been the big loser for the day. I really thought going into Friday that we would have a good gain on Monday with Tesla. But I imagine what's happening is with all the Doge shit that's going on with Tesla, it's just not a good look for the company, considering the fact that you have this guy that is very we'll say makes a lot of splashes in the world news. But you are seeing kind of a similar case here. You're seeing on the 5 minute 10 and 21 crossing over, you're trying to build some support, and it's better if we stay above the 50 here. That way they can start to drag this 50 up. And once this 10 and 21 cross, you should just go because those are usually really clear, strong indicators, as you can see here, right? We cross the 10 and the 21 over the 50, we just go. And we might come back to the 50, but we're still going until you cross back over that 50 here, right? You cross over the 50, and from there, you could have, I guess, said, hey, it's maybe going short on Monday, but it wasn't very much of a break, and we did come back up immediately at the end of hours. So I was imagining that we were going to keep going and try to fill up this gap up here, but I guess they just are trying to really sell the fuck out of Tesla. So that's the big loser on the day. Berkshire continues to do well. Warren Buffett's elite. He's the best in the game. JP Morgan, another stock I thought was just gonna rip upwards this morning, but we just didn't get that. We needed some pause here. We needed to test some bulls gall, see if they were really serious or not. So uh, Eli Lilly did do pretty well, and Visa I guess is just kind of meandering along. Big winner on the day earlier at least was INTC Intel. I've been telling people to buy this for a long time, and let's see, 30 minutes. As you can see, we're coming back up to this high that we built. But the real thing to be looking here on this chart is this 200-day moving average. We're starting to flatten this guy out. And as you can see, when we crossed over on the daily on the 10 and the 21, we didn't break back over. We found support before they could cross that back over. It's showing that there is some massive support here. As you can see, there's clearly support being built, and there is this kind of W formation that's being built. Um, they came back down and slammed it really hard, though, and that was a great opportunity for people to, I guess, get in after seeing that people were pretty serious about buying this up and at least closing this gap. So, first price target on a Intel would be these highs, and then after we squeeze through these highs, I would imagine we're coming up to fill this gap. So, I mean, if you're in Intel, you should probably be in it for a long-term play. Um, it got absolutely slaughtered last year, as you can see. We got absolutely slaughtered. Um, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this come back up to maybe even the 200-week moving average at 36 something dollars, and that'd be right before we got this massive sell off. This was probably like when Intel was changing CEOs and stuff. But so I mean, I'd be looking for that. But going back to what we're doing here, let's stay focused on the cues. See what I mean? They keep bouncing it off of the 10. You could have just be buying at the 10. When you have these stacked EMAs and they're all going up pretty strong, you can just buy at the 10, but you've taken a risk. It's a lot of risk, obviously, that you're taking. You wouldn't really know where to stop out. You could stop out underneath of the 21, I guess, but it does look like it just wants to keep going, and it did do pretty much what I imagined here at R1. We found some resistance. We bounced it down to the 10, and then it found support off the 10. So now, after we've broken out of resistance, I would imagine that we're going to find resistance here, if not prior to that. So we'll probably be coming down again to R1 to retest that. It could be a decent entry for the long, but again, going back to this volume profile, we have this valley here. Um, and we have you can see here on the 1 minute, we have a fair value gap here, and it's a pretty sizable one. That's kind of important. It's in the valley. If it comes back down into the valley, we'll fill up this gap in the chart, which actually makes sense. You'd be coming back down and just about near these highs where we broke out. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a big sell off here, a big dump very quickly, and then a bounce right back up, a rip roar rally after they sell. Um, and what that would really look like in terms of market direction is that just these people at the top, they would really be trying to protect their positions and sell some more. Um, so I mean, like, let's say I owned QQQ and I'm trying to get a good price to sell. They sold up here, they sold here, they sold here, and so what's to tell them to stop selling up here. There's nothing to say that even though we got this rally up, um, we still haven't broken over these highs. They can continue to sell anywhere within here. And so that's what you're starting to see. You're starting to see a little bit of sell off. The tilt on top step is starting to go down a little bit, which is indicating to you if you're wise and you know how to use the tilt. You're not entering because people are 50% long, or you don't use it like that. What you do is you watch it as an oscillator. So we were about 66% long down here, but now it's starting to drop down to 50%, 57% long, which is showing you that people are starting to cover their long positions getting up towards these highs. They've said, this has been a pretty good rally, I'll take profits. And that's what a lot of people are starting to think. We don't ever use the tilt as like an indicator whether or not we should go long or short. Doesn't make any sense. But looking at this MACD on the 1 minute, you can see that we're pretty high up here. We're within the tens. Tens is pretty high on the one, and we're starting to cross back down. So we're finding resistance. This second oscillator here I have is a stochastic. The stochastic kind of just shows you when we curl down, we're coming down. As you can see here on this stochastic, we come down, and then when we break down to here we start going up, and it's just you follow the oscillators. You don't really want to trade against this, at least on the 5. On the 1 minute you can, because as you can see, the oscillation was kind of small here. If you were already long, it was only, you only had to hold for like about 20 something points. So you might as well have just stayed in on that, as long as your 5 minute doesn't start showing you the same thing, right? So we've just been going up and up and up on this 5 minute stochastic for a while here. Stochastics can stay above here for a very long time. It doesn't have to fucking drop immediately, but you are going to get some sorts of drop eventually. And when you do see it like this, where it's been kind of meandering and struggling along, that's when you start to really worry at least a little bit about it. All right. So yeah, we just want to be patient. You don't want to chase things if you're, especially if you're in a top step program and you're gonna like, it's technically over leveraging, right? Because at a 50K balance and you can only afford to lose 2K, it 2K is what, like it's 100, it's 100 points. So you know if you're risking $200, you're risking 10%, which is technically over leveraging. You don't really want to risk more than like 2%, but you can over leverage. You just have to have an edge. That's the problem. That's the thing that people don't tell you, is that if you don't have an edge and you're over leveraging, then you're just being a balls to the walls gambler. But if you have an edge, then yes, you can over leverage. It's a reason why, you know. And then you size down on positions where you don't have an edge. Like if you were trying to just enter because you don't think it's going to dip back down for whatever reason at the 10, then you'd size down. You wouldn't use 10 micros. You'd use maybe like 3 micros or 1 micro. You could just, you know, you could use 1 micro every single time, right? So we broke out here, support off of it, 1 micro. Come down to it again right here, 1 micro, and you just keep adding to your position. Um, That is a way that some people will trade. It can really come against you quick because as you're averaging up, it only takes one bigger move down to the 50 to really rail you. Um, so I wouldn't recommend necessarily doing that. There's better ways to get into trades, but looking at this, we have MACDs coming up pretty hard on the 5 minute. Let's go look at the 30 minute. 30-minute MACD is starting to look up too, so that's even more of a bullish signal for you. So most people at this point know that the market is bullish. Okay, I'd say about 80 to 90% of people and understand that this market is looking bullish here. Um, and your stochastic is also coming up on a 30-minute. But this I also never even explained yet. But uh, this line down here is the commodity channel index. It's basically like what I call money flow. It's if money is coming in or out of the market. Um, so like here, for example, the money starts coming back into the market, so it turns back up, right? Even though the stochastic's still turning down here. This is giving you a better entry. So like the stochastic showing you shouldn't really be buying in the middle of the range. Should be looking for an entry at the bottom or the top of um these stochastics. That's it's kind of helping you with entries, whereas this is showing you your money flow coming in and out. So that's going to be your uh I don't know why it's not showing commodity channel index. Okay, so put one of those on, you can see that the money's starting to come out, but you wouldn't want to really gauge it until it comes down below into this end area here. When you get up to 200 plus on this CCI, that's a good indication that you're running out of gas. So as you can see, we came up and we are well above 200 there. Okay. So right around here is where you were running out of gas. Okay. So as you can see, they keep trying to squeeze it, but every time they squeeze it, they're finding some sellers here. It's not huge selling because everybody knows that it's pretty much bullish here, but they need a pullback because there's no other way for them to find buyers. It's already overbought here, essentially, is what I'm saying. You wouldn't want to put your money in where everybody else is looking to get out of the market because they've already been in the market for the past like 30 minutes, right? So you don't want to do that. You want to just kind of wait. We do have this trend line here, which is a good indication because we're coming up here. If we look at this, right, we're coming up to this uh, 50 here, or coming down, I mean, to this 50, and this trend line is right near it. So we could find a lot of support here at the 50, like I was saying. I think that's the best place to buy. And you'll see if we do come down to that 50, the stochastic should be pretty much reset down there. And once it starts turning back up, that's when you can start getting in. You don't want to preempt it and say, oh, it's down, so I can buy it here. You want to wait for it to give you confirmation of it turning up. You want to see the money flow start to turn up. You want to see this 5 stochastic have come down at least a little bit and reset. And as you can see, people are not just selling it. Ooh, okay, we got a squeeze, boys. So, see what I mean? See what I mean? Once we get over this, it's going to start squeezing. And that would have actually been a good little short term scalp squeeze if you shorted. You could have shorted this and squeezed. I don't know what happened right there. It must have been some source of news. White House press briefing. Retail sales was this morning. We'll see what hits the wire here. Should be something in a second. Wow, really jumpy. And so now it's like it's days like today that just kind of pissed me off in terms of options because I was right both ways. It's just my entry sucked, my exit sucked. If I had just held on to my short for a little bit longer, when we got down to pivot, I would have closed. If I had just held on to my long from this morning, could have came back up. And it's just like I don't really like to trade options unless if it's a directional move day. And I knew that coming into this that there was a likelihood that we'd probably chop back and forth. So I don't know why I even traded today. I just got FOMO'd into that shit. Stupid. That's why I like the futures. Like if I have a futures combine or something like that, with Topstep or an XFA, I don't have to fucking trade the options. I can just trade the futures and scalp a couple bucks here, scalp a couple bucks there. But the options, it's like I have a limited amount of money, so I can't just, you know, hop in and out all the time. Yeah, I don't know what happened here, why we popped up. I need the news article. Oh, okay. USTR Rear imposes a policy process on the reciprocal tariff plan. What is USTR? Trade representative. Imposes a policy process on the reciprocal tariff plan. Happened exactly at 2. That's something I've been noticing is that they wait until 2 o'clock It's like some sorts of cyclical thing that they're doing to try to like move the markets in the proper way. Because I noticed that the Federal Reserve talks at like 2:30 in the afternoon. Press conference starts at like 2, like the recording at least, and you usually get a jump right around 2. High volatility at 2. It's like they like to just throw that random news out there at 2. And some sorts of cyclical thing. I think they're trying to keep it bullish by doing at 2 or something. I don't know. All right, we squeezed up. We broke the highs though. We swept the highs and we're finding sellers. So honestly, it wouldn't be a terrible short, but I'm just not going to do it because all the momentum's bullish. I'd rather just wait. I'd wait, wait, and wait. Been listening to some like old tunes, some tunes that everybody knows from like back in the day. It's like names that you don't even necessarily remember anymore, but everybody knows the tune. We're leaving some wicks behind here, showing that buyers are really trying to step on some gas here, but stochastic is starting to turn down on the 5 minute, showing you that they're really starting to run out of gas. This money flow is starting to flatten off again, though, before it even crossed down, so it's possible that they go back up, but just MACD starting to come down a little bit and flatten off. Markets often like to do this. Topstep had like a guy on once who was talking about like market profiles, where he shows that when the markets make these tops here that get rejected and they squeeze through, they like to squeeze through hard. As you can see here, one, two, three, four touches here, and that got sold off. That once we finally broke through here, it was a big squeeze up, right? Followed by a big pullback, of course, but then a humongous squeeze up this morning, right? And let's see if we can find another one of those. It's been all bearish recently. Everything is just bearish, bearish, bearish. Everybody just wants to sell. They want to get out of this market. Cash is going to be king here in a little bit. Buy up all these assets cheap. Trump always likes those blonde hair, blue eyes, like girls and shit. Like specifically the girls. I think Trump is really like. I think he's a nasty individual. Like I don't know how to explain it. I don't think that he's like a good person. I don't think he's a bad person. I just think that he's like dirty minded. Like he's tainted. But I definitely don't think he's a bad person. And I don't think he's done things that are like necessarily bad. You know, fucking lower this. I don't need all this space for these. Definitely don't need all that space for this. All I care about is this tilt here. Oh, I forgot to look at what Bitcoin was doing today. There's some guy that has a massive short position leveraged. Whew, and it's pretty close to his fucking stop out point at 85 something thousand. Wowza. It's getting pretty close to his stop out, man. That is shitty. He might get liquidated on that. Still can't close yet above that opening range high. I just wouldn't be shorting. If you're gonna be shorting into this, you'll just get squeezed. MACD starting to come down to a more normal range. You will see sometimes that it does this where it'll come down and then turn back around and go back up. So, a 5. So I'm not counting it out yet. The money flow's still above here. Just gonna find a lot of resistance. That's the issue. Because you have this resistance here, obviously, which we tried to squeeze above, but we immediately found sellers, or at least people that were looking to cover their longs. And you're also going to find resistance here before we get into the gap, which is only a little bit higher up. It's only like a dollar higher, point higher, but they're just going to keep finding more and more resistance the higher they go. They need some sorts of pullback to find new buyers if they really want to squeeze into this gap. You can see we came down to the 21 here, 21 EMA. So you can see we're starting to weaken here. Um, One of the tips that they do, like if you buy this breakout here, right? Breakout over this high, you bought it, you stay with it unless if it hits the 21. You would have been in the trade the entire time until here. So, let's say oop, something like that. About a 6.5 R. That's what you would have made. I was in the process of buying my combine, like when we were breaking out. I was like, I'm gonna start up a new combine and stream that shit. I was bored, man. I'm just bored right now. We're squeezing, man. Again, you could have just been buying the dips here, one micro here, one micro here. Came down to the 21, but you didn't break beneath here, so you still would have been in the green. Buy one here and buy one here. You just keep squeezing higher. Everybody knows it's bullish now, so that's like what's worrying me is that I don't think we're gonna get a massive sell off because everybody knows it's bullish. See target ones all the way up here at R2, just within the gap. I don't know. I don't know how I can buy into this. I think like the best would probably be a opening range breakout retest. You come down here, you could buy it, but we don't really want to. Okay, I see. I see what we can do. So looking at this, what we have This is Elliott wave. Okay. So these things right here, these impulse waves, we do have a clear one, two, three, four, five. Okay. Maybe even argue that four was probably somewhere around here. One, two, three. We're doing three right now. We'll get one more pullback and one more pump to finish five. Then on ABC, C should probably come down on a five wave. So that's how we can get in. We can wait for that. So we have a five wave sequence going up here. And this is probably part of one, two, three, four, five. Mm, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. You're gonna get a pullback here. This is definitely wave three of five. So like this is probably one, two, three, one, three, two, three, 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 four, three, five, and then a bigger pullback for wave four down to like I don't know, like right around here. Yeah, this is gonna rip. It's gonna keep going. See that the tilt's not getting higher. Nobody's willing to just jump in. You know, you need to see a pullback. Everybody wants to see a pullback. Nobody can just buy it here. Boring. Okay, wave three is ending here of five. One, two, three. And within three, you have three, one, three, two, three, 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 four, three, five. Pretty sure we're getting wave four now. See how we top wicked that there? Just barely came above. That's what I'm saying. This is a four. This is a five. We're going to do a wave four back down here of five. So we're topping pretty soon here, guys. Be looking for, I believe it's like a 50% retrace. Doesn't have to. It can only come down to here if it wants. And then it can rally. It's just looking like it's gonna do that. Looks like it wants to rally from here one more time. Finish that fifth wave. Five of five. Rips back up. Okay, more people are short here. That's interesting. If you ever watch the Big Short movie, there's those guys that the kids they originally made a lot of their money based off of this wave five of the theory, which is people start to sell, but there's still some potential to be made on these rallies. This is what's happening right now. You're getting people short because they think it's overly bought up, and you're getting this fifth wave. these fifth wave buyers. Although this could just be wave 3, 5 ending. So we gotta wait and see. Telling you, man, you're gonna get a pullback eventually. Those don't count, man. These little three candles. But that's what I guess Dakota uses as a 3 bar reversal entry. So as soon as you close above, or as soon as you cross, like I guess you have to close the candle first, so you'd enter here. But he usually preempts them. So he would have went long there. You're now inside the gap. Just watching this, man. Watching it go away from me. Didn't let me in, man. I had my entry in, and they didn't let me get it. My entry was pretty much right here at these highs. Came down. Barely didn't get. That's why I don't like these markets, man. Like the algorithms and shit are gonna ruin the world, man. AI is gonna ruin the world. It's gonna make everything so like impossible to get ahead. You're gonna have these algorithms cheating you in everything that you do. They're gonna steal your jobs. They're gonna be more efficient at it. They're gonna steal your money in the market. They're more efficient at it. They're just gonna. It's gonna ruin the world. I'm telling you. Even doctors, people that are like the high up positions in the world, it's gonna ruin their lives too. It's gonna take their jobs. It's gonna be a war of algorithms. Everybody's gonna learn how to code. Honestly, you're not even gonna have to know how to code because Nvidia's shit will just code for you. You just have to know what to ask it, know what to say. Just showing this real quick. See how the stochastic turned back up here? Money flow's still positive technically. It's starting to flow down a little bit. Shorts are starting to get squeezed. All right. I am pretty sure that is wave. I don't know. That doesn't look like a. Yeah, I think that's just wave 3, 5 done. We still have one more move up. This is wave 4. 4 should come about 50%, which would be perfect. You'd retest this break without coming into wave 1, but it doesn't have to come to 50. And then one more rally higher. Within this wave 4, you can sometimes find an ABC. So that could have been your A, B, and then we're coming down for C right now. So on something like that, you might want to go into like 100 ticks. See, that could be your A, B coming down for C. Finding support off this 23% retrace should come down further. there just buying it at the 10 here. That's fine. It doesn't have to go all the way down. That's fine. That could be your wave 4 here, coming up for the wave 5. I think that's the best way to count it, honestly, is that this has all been part of wave 5, and this is 5-5. All it has to do is just break over it here by a smidge. Or this is still wave 4, and this is A, B, and we're coming right down for C. And we'll break these lows. And you could take a short-term scalp lower, but you'd be going against trend, so it's probably not recommended. Five five. That's what I'm guessing. Guessing that was wave 4. Nah, wave 4 will want to retrace more. Could be 3-5. There's still a lot of time left. Still an hour and a half. All right, you see, just barely hit over. That could be your 5-5. I'm tempted to go short here, even though it's way counter trend. A lot of things are looking like this is. Oop, what did I just do? See, a lot of things are starting to look like a short here. MACD's really struggling to break over this high here. We have some divergence here from the MACD to the chart. You're starting to find resistance here that people are going to start to sell into. A lot of times wave 5 likes to be the same length as wave 1. Boom, boom, boom. So a way you could play the shorts here with a little bit more certainty is that once we finish this 5-wave sequence up, you'll have an A and then a retracement wave on B. And so when that B starts to top out and turn back around, if you have some indicators here that show you that it looks like it wants to turn around again, and that could you could play that C wave down. Nineteen 19928. That's what I'd be calling out if I was on Topstep. 19928. That's gonna be your top. Somewhere around there. It's a good place to look for closing of longs, not for shorts. I just don't know how to count this any other way. And this would have to be 1, 2, all of this 3, and then we get a major breakdown here to 4, be 50% what you'd be looking for. So let's say if it's 928 the top, right? 50%, and take you back down to here. There's not a lot of reasons for it to come back to here. That's why I just don't think that's all wave 3. Could be. Could be that this is wave 1, 2, and then within wave 3 we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to get a pullback for 4. It's possible. 928. 928. That's the call. 928. Crazy, man. Oh, yeah, and we're coming up to R2. We'll definitely reject off R2. Might even do it a little bit earlier off of this first target. There might be some preemptive selling. It could happen at any time now. 50-50. Shouldn't be buying here. That's why the long should start decreasing here. Let's see. Within 4 points of the target that I was aiming for. Alright, this one's going to come back to the 21. Look how bullish this is on a 5-minute. Shoot, straight up. That's what I'm saying. You find an edge like today where you find that edge here and you just go long and just stick with it. Imagine we sold all the way back off. That'd be nice. They just don't want to sell it. They want to keep buying this until it at least hits R2. We're going to watch the cues here. And look, they did build another valley here on the volume profile. So that's where we're looking for it to come back to. Fill up this. Retest the breakout. Watch. Watch R2. It's going to act as resistance. They might spike it through it, but then it's going to immediately get sold off. Or they stop it here and preempt it. They're preempting it, looks like. Alright, let's look at some indicators. Let's watch the indicators. Indicators are looking more and more short. $777. That's a good song. Look, R2. Blinded by the light. Told you, might squeeze it through there and then shoo, straight back down. Wrapped up like a douche. Here we go. Yeah, my calls would have been in the profit, bro. Big time. Big time in the profit calls. Fucking assholes, man. I've just gotten my ass handed to me in options so many times, just holding on to them, hoping that they come back. Just can't do it anymore. You're either right or you're wrong. Dude, look at this shit. They even closed 2 bars above. Isn't that insane? Blinded by the light, up like a deuce in the middle of the night. Blinded by the light. Told you they find some resistance at R2. R3's way up there. Just about the same. Through the night. Alright, I think we're done here. We're getting a pullback. See, stochastics coming down, money flows coming down on the one. MACD's crossed over on the one. Look at that. People sold out of their longs now. Take a small position. Mm, 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 mm. Got 30 more seconds. Shouldn't be doing this, but hey man, balls to the walls. Boom, 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 boom. A, B, break the lows here. Could just be a flat though, so I don't want to necessarily. Should break this low here. I don't think it should go above here. I might have moved my stop too early. I'm gonna actually leave it. Leave it. Leave it at the Bollinger. All right. Now I think we can move it down. How does he do it? How does he short the top? We're building a triangle here. This could squeeze me out. Okay, we'll move it to somewhere that's more reasonable. Come get me, fuckers. I know you want to. Come get me, fuckers. Look, the one Bollinger's starting to curl down. Boom, boom, boom. The straight is looking not bad, Loki. It could be a 5-minute 3-bar reversal, bro. Merry Christmas. Could you squeeze, dude? That's why we gotta have a stop in here, for sure. Always gotta have a stop, but gotta have it tight on this one at least. I've gotten some really terrible fills before on Topstep with the when you have a stop like this. Like they could just squeeze through and you get a terrible fill. Or sometimes it doesn't even come up to that end that point and it gets you out. I've had that happen to me before, where it's like it'll stop like right here, and but I'm already stopped out, even though it stopped here, and then you're in the trade the right way. If they hadn't stopped you out, that's some weird shit happen. This platform's not necessarily the best. See how the 5-minute money flow is starting to get wary, and the 5-minute MACD starting to flatten out. 5 minutes stochastic. I knew they wanted to squeeze me. They changed the voice. All right, we'll try it one more time. I knew they wanted to squeeze me. Gonna get stopped out. Gonna get stopped out. Gonna get stopped out. Gotta get stopped out. Bum 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 bum. Oh well. I don't know what to say. This market's just ripping. Could come all the way up to R3, dude. Mm, 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 mm. All right, one more time. Send it. Above the 1 minute Bollinger Band, stochastic reset. Money flows way up there on the 1 minute now. That's why we took that on a heavier position there. They're trying to change this MACD to positive. It's just gonna fail though. They're just trying to change the Bollinger Bands to make them like turn down, and so it's easier to do that by pushing it up and squeezing people out so that these widen out, and then they can take it down. Come on, fuckers. Send the market down. Send the market down. Sell a little bit now. Sell a little bit. Sell a little bit. Sell a little bit. Sell a little bit. Sell. 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 Sell a little bit. 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 Sell. 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 Boom. 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 Sell a little bit, 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 sell a little bit. 5 minutes, stochastic coming down. Sell a little bit, sell a little bit. Mm. Oh, I won't let you go down. They don't wanna let me win. Ba-da-bum-bum. I don't like it. I don't like it. Don't like it. I don't like it. The manipulation. I do not like it. That low. Break that low. Break it some mo. Come on. Break it some mo. Break that low. You already know. You already know. You gotta break that low. Break that low. You already know. 21 touch, baby. Come on. Boom, boom. Still holding that one, man. That 10 on the one. We want to see it close beneath this 10 here to give us some confirmation. Might just close out of this. The way it's looking, it's just too bullish. Anytime they get this down, they just turn it right back up. It's making me feel wary about this, but I'm gonna trust this process here. Sell a little bit, sell a little bit, sell a little bit, sell a little bit. See, this is the good news. They haven't taken the MACD on the one back up. That could be A, B, and we need to break this low here. Dude, they just buying it at the 10, buying it at the 10, buying it at the 10. Sell it past the 10, man. Got 25 seconds left in this bar. They can close it beneath the 10. I'm pretty sure this will go down. Closed it beneath the 10. Should break the lows at least. Makes sense for it to come down to here. Alright, we're gonna take it there because that's just too much, man. It's just too much. It's the M top. I might have made a mistake by getting out. Come on, baby. Been going up all day. Gonna stop me out. Gonna stop me out. Should just wait for the 50. This is where I get myself in trouble if I go long. Train already kind of left the station. I think that's a mistake too. See, if that one didn't just go immediately, I didn't want to be in it. Pretty sure it'll come down to the 10 here. Or the 50 on the one, I mean. Should have stayed with that short, man. I had a fucking killer position. I'm not a huge fan of this. Should have just stayed short. It's coming all over now pretty hard. It's gonna come down beneath the 50. 10 here at least. Could really topple over to 21 here too. How close did we come to filling this gap? Still got what, 88, 78 ish. Nah, that's not right. All the way up here, 91. Shit. 91's pretty close to R3. I have to fucking rock it, man. We'll try it. Like the one stochastic coming back in and re-engaging here. The one money flow's turning back up. You can close above this 10. Want to close above that 10, I might add into this. I don't want to risk a lot. Darn. That looks to me more like a A B or a 1 2 3 A, and we're coming A B. We're gonna go up one more time here. Try it. I'm gonna take that. Fuck. Should keep going a little bit higher here. Then after that, it's gonna break down. This is looking like a 1 2 3 A, and now we're getting a B, and the B should have 3 waves back up. Looking for a close above this high. That could be your 1 2 3 B. That's what would make sense, and then you make a lower high here, and then you break this low and you come down. You see. Just don't want to enter long here. I know we came in support off this, but we have a lot of bearish pressure on the 5. It did technically come down here first and then bounced, so that could be your B wave's already done. It's trying to fake people out, I swear, bro. It's trying to fake people to get in short. This is all wave B in my opinion. It still hasn't broken this low. Once it breaks that low, though, it can't be. And you could have a 5-3-5 possibly 1-2-3-4-5. That wouldn't make sense either. That would have to be wave B here done. Going down for C now. Guess so. Should have just kept that original short. Honestly, this is all part of A still. 1-2-3. No, can't make sense that way. 1-2, and then it could come down in 3. Still, no. 1-2-3, and then we could bounce from here. Nah, I'm not doing shit, dude. I have to see some confirmation first. The short that I had originally would have been nice to keep. What was that? 10 and the 21 are getting ready to cross the 50. When that happens, it should bounce back up and rally to the 50. It should rally to the 50. Really trying to sell the fuck out of this. So you watch this. It's going to turn back around here. It's going to come back up to the 50. I think this is all part of wave A. Okay, so let's look. We got one. Nope, can't do that. Unless this is 1-2. 1-2-3. 1-2-3. 1-2. 1-2-3. This is a whole bunch of triplets. It could be a triangle of some sorts here building. Triangle doesn't really make sense. I think this is all part of wave A. Coming back up to wave B now, finally. I think that's what makes most sense. Down, and then one more up here would make sense. Keep it down here for the minute. For the minute, that makes sense. They keep it. They can't keep it. Low here. That's where they need to keep it. 10 seconds. Keep it down just a second. And then we rock it up. Well, not rock it up, but we kick it back up to 50 here. Maybe even higher. Could go all the way back up and retest the highs. That's good. Now we get a green candle. Green candle here. That would match what the stochastic's doing on the 1, the money flow is doing on the 1, and the stochastic on the 5 starting to bottom out a little bit. You have the MACD crossing down on the 5 minute, which is causing a bunch of downward pressure. So we're not getting that green candle. It's going to break that, isn't it? It's going to break it. Really just got to hold above here. Otherwise, I guess you could have a 1, 2, no, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, but that would make sense. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a green candle. It's gotta be. Should have bought in down here. Hmm. Revenge trading. I was right, man. They just wanted to come stop me out first. They just need to break over this high. That's it. That's all they have to do. Then they can take it down. Oof, this is not good. Oh, these fucking assholes. And they did it again. Still held that low. Revenge trading. Call me crazy if you want. goes over the 10. They're going to try to push you down. All right, we'll take it there. Get out of the hole. Even though it's going to go higher. But we build ourselves a hole, so we just want to get out of it. Don't be greedy. That break over? Not quite. And so you can tell people are eager to sell into this. They gotta get it higher. Still can't sell it. It's just manipulation. What is this high? High of 19,927.50. Yeah, still can't sell it. I should just enter again here. We got 5 minutes stochastic turning up. Money flow starting to turn back up. I told you I should have just entered again back down there. You got MACD on the 1 turning up. You got the stochastic on the 1's trying to turn up. The money flow is struggling because of this fucking dumb shit. This is dumb selling here. They're just fearful. Alright. I'm ready to sell though. I'm telling you, it's gonna go up to this 50, man. And once it gets to it, it's time to sell. Should have entered down here. Should have put my money where my mouth is. It's gotta go higher. I don't know why they keep selling into it. It has to break over this high. They literally sold into it 25 cents too early. Could scalp 15 points, 10 points there. Just getting back up to the 50. It's just not worth it. It's gonna sell after that. It'll be 50 points of profit here. Money flows coming out. See that? On the 5. Stochastic's trying to turn back up. This will probably fail. Turn back down. Still can't break the lows, guys. I don't know why they keep trying. Okay, let's see if I'm wrong. Let's try to. Okay, if I was wrong. It's be 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3 coming down. But that doesn't make sense. Makes so much more sense for it to go up to the 50 here and then just turn down. They're testing it again. I think what they're trying to do is they're just trying to make sure everything stays down and doesn't cross over once it touches the 50. They want to make sure the 10 doesn't cross over this 21 so that they can continue the downtrend rather than believe that this is a ABC, which could be 1, 2, 3, 4, some sorts of weird flat. You could have, I think this is probably the best count right now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Could actually, oh yeah, we did break the low. Should still come back up to this 50, man. Let's look at the volume profile here. You can see that we have this big shelf here that they want to come down and fill. It's a ways down. It's below this. It's almost 3:30 as well. Now you have the Bollinger beneath the 50, which is making it even harder to go up. Excuse me. Notice how we didn't close below the low. Came to the middle of the Bollinger on the 5. They could go even past the 50 here. They could go even past the high, but there should be another turn down eventually. Doesn't make sense in my opinion for them to do this. They shouldn't close the gap in one day like this and just rally it like crazy into the close. Doop, 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 doop. Just let them have it, bro. Let them have it. Stop selling. It's fucking stupid shorts. Unless if you're in up here, there's no reason you should be short right now. Not until it hits the 50. There's going to be a lot of people that got short here, and that's where it's trying to go to stop them back out. So it might go even a little bit past the 50, but it shouldn't break over this high. They're going to do everything they can to manipulate you out here. See how the 5 stochastic's starting to turn up here? So the first place you look for it to fail is at the 50 point here. Once this one stochastic gets all the way full, then it could turn right back down. But it is turning up pretty strong, which is bullish. There it goes. It's almost there. One, two, three, four. This could be wave four here is done, and we're going up for wave five. Put my money where my mouth is. We got point of control way down here, and we have this volume shelf. It'll want to come down here. Boom, 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 doo, doo, doo. See, 10 and 21 did not cross back over yet, even though they came up to the 50. I think that's why they were trying to keep it there. To be a really strong move higher. And we're going into the end of hours here, so longs are going to want to start liquidating here. I expect on MOC it'll sell. Oh, look at what you borrow now. That's why I don't like entering on the break, man. You always get these rickety movements right around the break. See how the stochastic's starting to fail here? Money flow is still coming out. One stochastic turned back down after reaching the high. Money flow's way down here now. Come on, sell this fucking shit. Sell it down to this volume shelf at least. Here comes the sell, I think. don't feel good about this right now. I feel like it should have just sold. But we are finding re-engaging of sellers. We're also seeing re-engaging of buyers. Volatility starting to pick up here. Shorts are starting to get smaller and smaller too. It's not looking good. Probably get stopped out. I guess this is technically like what they're calling a fair value gap too, so not the greatest. Maybe I should move risk above that. We're starting to see some bullish momentum come in here. Something takes part of me every time you leave. Money flow's still down though. On the Qs, it's up. Not necessarily the best trade to be in right now, honestly. Might need to get out here. I really want to see that flush. Really want to see a flush through these lows. They kept the 10 and the 21 lower. Just really want to see a flush here. They manipulate a lot of shorts out there. Where's the flush, man? should just be like a washout cell right here. Like if I'm right, this is just gonna whoosh straight down. Come on, give us the whoosh down. Come on. Got the stochastic turned back down here. Got the stochastic turned down. Money flow coming out on both of them. MACD's coming down on both of them. Feeling better about it now, but it needs to break these lows concretely, strongly. Should get a nice flush. Especially considering bulls keep trying to hold it up. Just, I don't know. I think it should at least come down to the 21. Doesn't feel right to get out now. Should be just a fucking blowout sell here. Especially because they keep buying it up. See the stochastic turn down here. It would be really good. 1 minute starting to turn back up. That's not good. I just don't want to let them manipulate me out because everything's still looking bearish here. The whoosh is probably going to happen on market on close, dude. At this rate, only got 6 minutes till it. I don't know if we'll be able to hold on to this trade for 6 minutes. The way that they keep fucking moving this shit around, it's like, it's looking like it wants to stop me out now. Hmm. Doing a really good job of manipulating it here. Look how sideways this is. I turned the stochastic up on the 5. That's not good. Turn it back down. Nah, I'm gonna get stopped. hit the 50 again and sold it there. Everything's still down. Is this where we get the whoosh? Hit the 50 and now we go whoosh? A huge wick though. Go whoosh. Whichever way it breaks, gonna break hard. It's been in here for a long ass time. Given the fact that we've already gone up so much, it makes me feel like they've got to get some profits here. Take profit, take profit, take profit. 2 minutes till market on close. There's things that make me think it's bearish, and then there's things that make me think that this is just not going to go down. I don't know. I'm pretty indecisive, and I don't really want to hold this into market on close because the way that this is going, we keep getting close to break even, and now it's going to be a stop out probably. I have a fucking strong feeling it's going to whoosh down. It's still bearish by all the EMAs. Everything's saying it's bearish. They could turn it right back around though for the last 10 minutes, you know? That's the thing. It's what it makes me feel like it's trying to do. Everything's trying to stop here and then last 10 minutes rocket. 5 seconds, let's see. Yeah, see, I told you. They couldn't keep it down there for even like 2 seconds. Jumped right off the 21. It's gonna whoosh, man. It's gonna whoosh down. I mean, now it should be pretty obvious to everybody it's a sell, right? Because we broke all these lows. Market on close was a sell. We can clearly move to break even here. Bang! Just like that, boys. Day's one. Day one is done. Clip it, chat. Clip it. Clip it, bro. Clip it, man. Tell me I'm not the GOAT. Tell me I'm not the GOAT. Tell me I'm not goated. What was that exit? 81-25, man. Tell me I'm not goated, man. Trust the process, man. I'm not gonna lie, I heard something in this song. It said something about. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Maybe it was the song before this. Wow, there's the whoosh. Opening range high. Told you they'd fill this. It was that, bro. Bro, I was listening to the song, right? And this lyric made me fucking have faith, bro. I swear. But yeah, it was just that, bro. Like, had me fucking like, I don't know. It was like have faith, and I was like, I was like, okay, I'm having faith. Fuck it. This is no, but this is where I was like, yeah, it's gotta be because then this part comes on. Wait for me. Yeah, bruh. I swear the Matrix be giving you signs sometimes, man. It gives you signs. Just gotta know how to listen to them every once in a while. Matrix, God, Jesus, the Lord Almighty. But yeah, guys, made our profit target for today. Tomorrow we'll go for the same thing, and we'll pass in 2 days, and then we'll have our XFA, and then we're on the road running. Go to 100K. My real goal is I'd like to, because they have the 30-day profit target thing, where if you have 30 days of $200 or more, you can withdraw 90%. I don't know, because with the new rule change where you can only take 5K at a time on each payout, I don't know if they allow you to take the full 90% if that's the case after the 30 days, because the maximum withdrawal apparently is 5K on XFA. So has me thinking either because I know they also have a new rule where once you take 5 payouts, then you get to once you have the 5 payouts, then you get moved up to live, right? Because there's like a clear track now to the live. But I don't know if they still have um, the discretionary pull up. Because I had gotten an email once on one of these XFAs where they wanted to move me up, and then I think like 2 days later I blew the account like a dumbass. Um, Again, listening to my father is how I blew the account, like my father does his own thing and I need to do my own thing. It's just it doesn't work for me what he's got going on and I don't honestly even know if it's working for him. So, but clearly what I do is working out for me. Like how many trades? I took 18 trades. It's really not that bad. And you can see like the lowest I got was 555. Okay. So that's a 3 to 1, basically, risk reward. So that'll work long term. But of course I took a counter trend trade. I pretty much called the tippity top. I could have just held that and I would have been perfectly fine had it not taken any heat, right? Taking like $150 a heat. But back to the point, my point is once you have the 30 days of $200 or more, do you think that they will move you into live even though you haven't taken a payout, and then you can obviously take your payout once you can take however much you want once you go to live. But my thoughts are that if you go up and you have the 30 days, and let's say I was at like I don't know 40, say 40 grand in there after 30 days, would they let you take out the 90% of that, or would they max it out at five? Um, Overall, the goal though is to eventually try to get to those 30 days because that would be the best I've ever done on a combine and XFA, whatever. I think the most I've had was 26 or 27 days, and then I blew the account, and I was pretty sad because, yeah, it just keeps selling here. Told you it was going to be a big whoosh down. I should have just known it was going to be MOC, considering the way that the market was going. But yeah, I mean that's kind of it, boys. Strategy here on the cues will help you, man. The cues, if you put a volume profile, I don't know how it works so much on the Nasdaq. I don't usually fuck with it on the Nasdaq because the Nasdaq has the movement prior in the day, in the morning, 3 hours. So I feel like that kind of messes with the volume profile a little bit because it makes people think that they don't know where to anchor it from. Whereas with the cues, it just almost everybody anchors it at the 930 bar and makes it a little bit more concrete. But you can see we also had this volume shelf here um, where, post hours, they're trying to move it down into there. So that would be a good place probably for them to get to. They did move the point of control back up. So a lot of the times what you'll see here, especially with the opening range breakout, you'll see sometimes that it'll go to target one, and then after it hits target one, a lot of the times it likes to come back down and test the opening range high. A lot of the times you'll see it. Here, I'll go back. You see, we hit target one, and then we come back and we want to retest it. Try on the other way here to show you. See, we come down to here to at least target one. It doesn't mean it necessarily has to stop at target one, and we want to come back and retest the opening range high or opening range low in this instance. Same thing here, right? Come down, you break this low, it comes to target one, it wants to retest that opening range high or opening range low. I want to focus on the bullish ones, but it's like very few and far between had bullish days these past few weeks. So I mean, yeah, same thing here, right? So here you never came up and hit target one, right? You never even came up, so that was the indication that you might have failed and we were going down. And this was the day we had a 10 o'clock news event or some shit. This was Jolt Jobs opening, if I believe I'm correct. And so then it hits this target one down here. And again, it tests that opening range high again. It wants to come back down. Okay. And yeah, so it's just a very common occurrence where it wants to retest. And since we never broke out in the morning and it only happened until then, we never came back to retest after hitting the one. I was pretty certain we were going to come back and retest for that reason. For also the reason that we have this big shelf down here and point of control used to be down here. So point of control is this white line, it's the highest volume. So I had a feeling that since point of control was down here and we hadn't retested the orb high, and we had these shelves here, it just made sense for it eventually to find a top and to sell. Plus, all of these people that are long here, typically when you have these rip roar rallies like this, it's typically because people have 0 day expiration options. It's not because of that, but typically people will have 0 day options there because that's a lot of money you can make on 0 day options, which obviously they have to close out on. So when they close out and take profits, it's going to send the market back down, right? So essentially, they want to, you know, find a point to sell, and a lot of people will just do that at market on close just to be safe at 10 till. And so you see here at 10 till, that's when we get the first whoosh down and break the lows. So you would have, if you had market on close, you could have, on you would have done it on the open bar. So right there at 484.60, let's say you got in when you broke this high, you could have made, 4 points on the cues just off of those 0 day expiration contracts. So I mean, you could have definitely made some money there, even though, you'd be slipping out extrinsic value, obviously, because you're close to the expiration. So, anyways, the 0 days is part of the reason why I thought it was going down. The shelf here, though, I think is really important. When you have this used to be point of control. When we were down here and we the point of control was down here and we were up here, and we never came back down to retest the point of control. And we have these volume shelves. It likes to come back down to to the volume point of control, which is here, right? So, I mean, now it's here. So, what you'll likely see tomorrow, given this data, is that overnight we could slip down, gap down to here, okay? Or somewhere down here, maybe like down to the old point of control down here, where we broke out from those highs. And then you could see a gap fill rally where we immediately go back into the fill and fill up this, and then we come up to this shelf here again. And once we get to here, then it'll be a decision. However, since the point of control is up here now, you should start to think that maybe this will hold up here because they're trying to support this opening range high. So there's a chance they don't sell this off after hours here, and we continue going higher in the morning. Now they just don't want to buy it though, because you can look at over here. We have Apple was just barely up, Nvidia was barely down. There's not much movement. The only one's Tesla. Tesla's just been getting wrecked. But you can see that we're having this cup and handle kind of happening here. But this also could be an M top. So you got to be careful with Tesla, I'd say. Um, I wanted to look at this. Yeah. See, so Intel kind of found a top today early in the morning, and that makes sense considering that we gapped up. We never came down to test the gap. We just immediately gapped up and ran, and then we cupped and we went up. And so once you find that, then you're finding a handle for the rest of the day. This is just a big handle. You got this big handle here, flag, whatever you want to call it, right? So, and then going again back down to the daily chart here, you can see we're above the 200-day moving average. So there is still a chance we come back down, we retest this, fill this gap. We fill the gap, then we could rally back up. But you're starting to see the 10 has now crossed back over the 21, which is bullish momentum. You found support on the 10, on the 50. That's more bullish momentum, and you have a flag pattern coming in here, which makes me think what's happening here tomorrow on Intel is you're probably going to get a rip roar rally past these highs, close this gap, which would be like another, I don't know, let's see, another 27. No, I can't, that's not right. Another 13%. So I mean that could be like 2 days, 3 days of movement. But we do need to break over these highs first before you see that. And once you do break over these highs, I would imagine this 200-day moving average is going to start slowly but surely moving back out flat. Um, the market is open. So yeah, that's 25 bars right there. So that's like an eighth of the 200-day moving average already is starting to flatten out. So, you have another 25 days up and this will be flat, if not turning up by then. So, Intel looks good, but I really rather let's just focus on the Qs right now and the Nasdaq. We'll go check out the S&P as well. So yeah, coming into this close, we knew it was going to come down. It came pretty close to VWAP. We're kind of closing after hours very close to VWAP. Um, let's see. This is also near the 50 on the 5. We're very close to the 50 on the 5. You see? So, you see the money flow just got obliterated. Absolutely obliterated. Minus 300. So, yeah, I would assume that they're going to buy this up here. Um, I would assume that it'd be a pretty good time to buy if you were to be buying,
contracts to hedge yourself for tomorrow, I think it would be a pretty good time to buy. Um, you got the 5 stochastic downturns. One MACD is way down there now. Balance out that way up. Um, do have kind of like a little shelf of resistance slash support here. So there could definitely be some support made here. But let's go look at the ES and this, well, really the SPY, I guess. Okay, so the SPY on the 1 minute. See, so on the SPY, it was a lot more difficult because the 1 minute here, you had it go above the 50 and close above it twice, and you had it come down below again, test it, and then close back above. So, and you were very close to this high here. You never broke over it. Well, actually, you did. You slightly broke over it here. So you might have gotten tricked to go long, and then they stopped you out. So that's like why I don't like the spy. Everybody loves the spy because they think it's like uh more straightforward than the cues, but the cues follows waveforms way better because there's more stocks, or more, I should say, there's more equity per stock, is what I mean. So like the S&P 500 has 500 stocks, the Nasdaq 100 only has 100 stocks. So it's only looking at the top 100, which has the highest market caps. So S&P has those rare few that are like a little bit lower market cap that could just change the pattern form. So looking at this, that looks like they tricked you out here into thinking that you were going long, and then you didn't. And then going over to here, you freaking went up the to past the 50, and you went past this high. I would have got stopped out, right? Because I had my highs there, or my stop like right above that high, but they would have stopped you out right before they took it down. So that's why I don't fuck around with the ES, even though everybody seems to love it on Topstep because it's less per point. They can tolerate more. Um, but yeah, just looking at this, it's like this looks a lot better. You don't break that high. You don't break this past high over here. You know, it's just a way better waveform. So I think with like if you're looking at counting waves, this is going to be better for you, the cues. If you're looking for price action necessarily, the price action might not necessarily be the best because you can see it. We get in here and we're back and forth. We break over that high, right? And we immediately come right back down to stop people out. So, like, it's a lot more riggedy raggedy on the cues on NASDAQ. So, you got to be careful about that. But wave patterns make it a lot easier to gauge cues. But looking at this looks good, right? Let's look at this. So, like I was trying to tell you guys from the top here, I think this is all wave four. You have wave four coming in here. So you got it was it was off the bottom here. So one, two, three, four. Four should come about 50% of the entire thing. It can come down to 61%, which is where we stopped. So it's possible that's done. But again, like I was saying, I think they do want to test this volume shelf here. So I wouldn't be surprised for them to come down 50%. Even further, they can come all the way back down to just above this high. They could come all the way down. And then they go back up for wave five. And I think that would be the end of whatever rally this is. Because what we have going up is you have an A and then you have a B, right? So you have a one, two, three A, you have a one, two, three B, and then you have a one, two, three, four, five. Okay, but I still think we're working on five. Okay, I think with that five, right, going down is this right here. You have that one, two, three, four. So you still have a 5-5 to go, and that'd be it. And then that could be all done tomorrow, and then the FOMC talks on Wednesday and sends the market back down. I did originally looking at this think it'd be best, like I was saying earlier, for it to come back up to this 200-day moving average. Doesn't have to do that. I just said that it at least wants to fill this gap. It at least wants to fill the gap. So it could come down just barely underneath of the 200-day by 2 points. And everybody's looking to get out here, and nobody gets out because they get fucked. They sell it before it gets there. So, and it could just even come back up to this open, and that'd be only a little bit higher because that would settle the wave pattern, and then you have the huge wave down. Because I think all of this is just one. That's all just one. So, what you really have, in my opinion, is you have one, two, three, which is ABC. Okay, but within C, because on A you have one, two, three, 4, 5. So that's a 5. And then you have a 1, 2. This never breaks that low here, so that'd be 3. Okay. So you have a 5, 3, 5. It's a diagonal of some sorts. That's what's happening. And so this 5 waves down, you could say is 1, 2, but the 3 is usually very strong. So it's hard to tell. It shouldn't look like this. This is all looking more like, because now you kind of have to go into the 30 minutes. This all looks like a wave one to me. The way it's looking out, the wave one could have 5 waves within it. One, two, one, no, one, two, three, four, five. That could be a possibility. Okay, but I don't know. I'm not trying to speculate so much about that. I think that's more or less behind us already. We don't need to worry about that. But like I'm saying, I think this is all. Let me just map this here for you. Uh, make this easier to understand. This is A, B, and we're coming down for C, okay? And this is all the reason why C looks so elongated down is because it's a wave. This is a very, very long wave pattern. This is why everybody's calling for some sorts of market crash because it's a very, very long pattern. Coming back from 2000s.com bubble, one, two, and we rallied all the way up to three up here in 2022, and we started having those recession fears, and then we came down for four. And this has all been part of wave five. So you can see we have a 5 wave sequence going up. So this ABC can retrace. It can retrace 50%. That's why everybody says scared. It could retrace 50%. It could retrace 90% if it wanted. Okay, so you got to be very careful here for sure. Could be this low actually. Okay, and 50% takes you right back down to those lows. Okay, takes you right back down to those August 2022 lows, which is what a lot of people have been calling for. But there's a possibility that this is much worse. It could actually be way worse. It could be 80, 90%, like the dot com bubble here. You can't see it on the Qs because they don't have the prior data. You had to go to the NDX. But this was 80%. Okay, that's 80% drop. Okay, so you could have something like that, where again you see the one, two. Let me move this. On this, you have the one, two, and you have a three, four, five coming back down. Okay, or you could count this as A, B, right, or A, B, and then one, two, and then one, two, three, four, five. That could be your wave count there, right? So A, B,
This is all C. So, and if that was all C, then this would be the original drop for A was 46%. Okay. That was 46%. Okay. That's a lot more. So I don't think necessarily it's going to be that bad. I don't think it'll be a lot less than what people are going to be calling for. We're going to be like panicking. But again, I think we already have wave A in and it was only 13%. Okay, so let's do some maths. 30%, so 30% of 80, 25%. That's what I'm calling for in total. In total, that's all you're going to get is 25%, in my opinion, which takes you down to these highs. Doesn't even take you that low. But again, that's only until I don't know, because this could rally more. You know, if this rallies more, it gets actually worse. It's better for them to just sell it immediately. If you sell it immediately, it'll be worse. It'll be way better off. Everybody's portfolios will be way better off. It'll be panic. It'll be mass panic, right? Everybody will be like, "Oh my god, I'm losing 10% a day, whatever, 5% a day. That's a lot to lose." But like at the end of the day, it'll be better for them to do it quickly because then they can quickly bounce it back up. Okay, re-inject into the markets. But they do this little meandering around. This could last a very long time. Could last years. Could go all the way till 2030. And like I was saying, if I think this is wave four here, wave five should have five waves. One, two, three, four, five. It's right there. Everything's looking bearish, man. You are in a retracement wave. That much is almost guaranteed. So let's go back down here. Let's look at this. 30 minutes. Okay. I know I have a whole bunch of lines and stuff. Don't even worry about the lines. Just completely day trade type of things. Okay. So what we got coming off the bottoms here is a wave two, in my opinion, of C. And wave one was actually just this little drop. Just this little drop. That was A. It was only 1.5%. Okay. B was only a little bit, but C is gonna be huge. C is gonna be huge. And if that's not right, oh, I'm sorry. A would be this one. I'm fucking stupid. 7%. Okay, so that's not as good. So 7%. That's wave A. Gotta go back now. A week. It's 47%. So 7 divided by 47. So 14%. Only 15%. So 80 times 0.15. 12%. Huh. Just doesn't seem right. I feel like I'm doing some math wrong here. But anyways, if that's wave A, that's wave B, like I'm saying, and we're coming down for a huge wave C. This could be really bad, guys. It could be really bad. You got one, two, three, right? So you already have your three. You have three coming in here. You have five waves coming up. One, two, three, four, five. Right? One, two, three, four, five. So it could already be done. It could be. Could already be done. One, two, three, four, five. And you want to check this. Yep,
You broke over the 1.618 fib. That would create the extension. That makes sense. It could be done. When you broke over this high today, when you broke over that high, that was your signal that this could be done. That this is the end of 1, 2, 3, 2, and now we're doing wave three. And that's why they sold the fuck out of it coming into the close. Could be. Wow. Wow. Can't believe I missed that one. They only came in partially to fill the gap. And everybody's thinking that you're going to get a gap close at least, and you're not going to get it because they're going to sell into it. That's possible. They're just going to leave that gap unclosed. But I still am optimistic. I think the Federal Reserve can say something, maybe cut interest rates to make the market manipulate back higher. Because this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like I'm saying, and 5 would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we still don't have the fifth wave yet of 5. So I don't see it. I don't see this being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That just doesn't makes no sense. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I think we're going higher here still, but only slightly. It's not. It's probably not even worth buying. It's probably not even worth buying. That's why you're seeing that the big tech companies are still slightly red. It's not worth buying. Tesla's getting wrecked still. It's just I don't know. I don't think that it's worth buying. I think you just wait. I know it seems crazy because you have these big rallies like that. You have this big gap here. Seems crazy not to buy. You have this huge rally here. Seems crazy, but it just no, don't buy because you never know when you're going to be on the next wave down. And the next wave down, like I'm saying, if I'm right, is your wave three of wave C, and wave three is the biggest. Well, not necessarily the biggest, but it's can't be the smallest. So let's assume this was the smallest wave. Then it's got to be bigger than that. Unless if wave five is miniature. Um, so yeah, coming down. Also, this is something you can do if I'm right, and this is all wave one. And I'm gonna assume a little bit here. So I'm assuming wave five is gonna be um, the same length as wave one, which is oftentimes true, but not necessarily true. Go higher. Then you want to see wave three go 1.618 fib. So that's all the way down here, man. 368.12, 13, whatever it is. It's pretty shit. And let's go check out what that really means. Whew. Yep, that takes you down pretty close. Takes you down into this. Then you'll get a bounce. That'd be wave four. And then you come all the way down and retest those lows. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's probably the best way for the market to move. Comes down, retests these 2022 lows. This is when there was big market manipulation. When Nvidia starts coming out with new chips on AI and all this other bullshit. be good because you wouldn't be allowing them to have an AI bubble continue. You'd be ending the AI bubble very early. So, I mean, I think it's not bad. It's not terrible. I mean, you break this low and you should just plummet, right? You should plummet when you once you break this low, like this trend line. I mean, once you break that trend line, these two lows are supporting the market up. And what did I do? I got a bunch of these just trend lines, these fucking horizontal lines here. It's like this one here would be important. This one here will be important. Let's see. This one here is not as important. Get rid of that. I don't even know what that is. A lot of times I just leave these horizontal lines up because like I don't remember what they're there for, but I need to start labeling them. Like I know these are my pivot points that I change around because I only have two indicators that I use. So I know the purple lines are my value area high and low from the previous day, which I could set right now. Let's go ahead and do that for tomorrow. Make it nice and easy. Settings, value area high and low. So this is part of my daily setup, what I do on my charts every single day before I start trading. Put the previous day value area high and low up there. Lock it in place so that it doesn't move around on accident. Make sure I get it very close within 1 cent, obviously. So this is clearly 86 cents. Okay. And don't need that anymore. Boom. Now I have my value area high and low. There's a trade that you can do where if you open outside of this range and then you come back into it, ride it down to the other side. So let's say we open up here and then we cross this line, then you ride it all the way down here, which is 5 or so points, almost 5 points, four and some change, $4.80. So you could ride that. Hasn't been working recently, but has a pretty good win rate. So yeah, do that. Get rid of this. Don't need that VWAP anymore. Get rid of this. Don't need that anymore. Just trying to clean up the charts a little bit. Don't need this. I was showing you that. Let's see. What's this? Red for me is like, oh, if it hits the red line, then it's gonna stop. Why I drew that shit. The only thing that it makes sense to me is that we had this support zone here, and we had it act as another support zone, which eventually then came and rallied and rip roared through, squeezed out of, and then we came back down and we popped back up to that resistance zone. And then we squeezed back above it again. But there's really no point for us to be here. Get rid of that. A lot of the times these lines though, they just make no sense because they're where I've done my Elliott wave to, where I expect it to go. So maybe I'm destroying my charts here, but what is this? Blue line. Oh, that was this. Breaking into the gap line. Leave that up there for now. Yeah, it's possible we're done and we're heading back down, and if that happens, it should be very violent. So I don't think it'll happen tomorrow because what's the news for tomorrow? Let's look that up. I have this now. What we got? U.S. housing starts, Canadian CPI, industrial production, Japanese Bank of Japan rate decision. Nah, big numbers this one, man. Oh, they expect a basis point cut. That's interesting. They expect a quarter interest rates. So if that doesn't happen, that would send the market down. I don't know. Economic data from CPI and PPI definitely enforces the fact that they could cut. That would send it up. Give a chance for people to get out. Very interesting. And then this Friday's triple witching Friday. So you gotta, I don't know, this week's very volatile. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's go look at the VIX too, just because we're here. 20. Not that great. These 60s and stuff. Like, let's look at the weekly. Look at that. I have this up here to show you the cycles. To show you some of the minor cycles here. This will show you, look, we hit this peak here, come back down. Another peak here, come back down. Another peak there. So when we get to here, it should be a peak, which is in 2031. The 2031 could be your tippity top crash. Because I didn't even go back. Let's go ahead and do this. So there's that majorly huge wave that I was looking at, right? It's huge wave, right? We were looking at this as being a 5 wave sequence up, but this could be one, two, three, and we're gonna keep going up until 31. And that'd be all wave three, and then wave four is the big great reset that everybody's talking about. Pretty fucking bad. That's all I can say. Pretty fucking bad. Once you top out on that, that'll be the end of the days for the United States. So that'll be decades away, if not 100 years away. Our kids probably won't grow up in a civilization where United States is the number one, unless if the birth rate explodes for some reason in the United States. Yeah, that could be wave C done right there. A, B, C. Start rallying tomorrow. All right, boys, I'm gonna call it there. We did well. Got our 1500. Do it again tomorrow. Get our XFA. Stop losing money. Start making money. That's what we need to do. Been losing a lot of money recently. I can't fucking fade losing anymore. Can't lose anymore. If I showed you my billing statements, man, I've just been gambling, man. I've been gambling hard. Like this whole bearish movement down, man. I fucking knew to go long term short up here, man. I fucking knew it, but I can't. There's nothing to justify it. But I fucking knew it, dude. My bank account was at the high at its high here, at the very high of the market. I could have just went long term short and been up a fortune, up a fortune. Uh, even if I had just shorted here, man, if I had just shorted on the break, I could have still been up a fortune.
6% down, man. Uh, forge. I think I just noticed. Nope, wasn't that line. Whatever. But yeah, looking at a daily chart here. Oh wow, we came up above the 10 today. It's interesting. Sold off the 10. As you can see on the 10, we never even crossed it on the all the way down. So now crossed it. So it's an interesting point to bring up there. Never even crossed it. People are gonna buy this dip. They're gonna get hurt. People that buy this dip. There's really not many other wave counts. I mean, this could be one, two, three, four, five. And this could all just be wave A, and then we come up for wave B, and it goes a little bit higher here, and then we get a massive wave C. Possible. And B's gonna be a big funk, big mess. It'll be like a one, two, three, and then everyone, oh, it's bullish. It found a double bottom and whatever. It found a lower, higher low and made new higher highs. It's bullish. That's what everybody was saying. Then just slam on C. But I don't know. There's so many bearish wave counts now. It's just it looks terrible, but not as bad as Solana. Solana looks terrible, man. So bad. Oh my gosh, this looks so bad, man. Bearish engulfing candle here. Double top failure. Break of flows. Break of structure. Only thing that's giving me hope on Solana for any of the meme coiners out there is the fact that you still are holding this low. But once you cross 78, 76, this line here, once you cross that, which extend it, then your history. Then that's game over for Solana. Let's go check out the Bitcoin chart. Oh, he didn't get liquidated yet. Oh, that guy's clenching cheeks, dude. I don't know why you'd go 40x short here. Should have went 40x short when we came back up and rallied to the 50 on the daily. That was a good short 40x. Would have taken what? High was 99,000, the 50 was 90. You would have taken like $1,000 a heap. And the rest was history, man. Could have wrote it down for 20K, 40x. Think about that. That was a clear short here. Clear short. And you do it when you cross back over the 10. So right here, that's where you go short. 96. See how it all stayed bearish? We have possible long coming in here. So like this is not something you would take. Possible. This clear dead giveaway. That's where you should be short. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with like the idiots that are out in society these days. Like I don't know. I think their TikTok has killed people's brain cells so damn much. I mean, look at this. When we came from the highs in 2021, we dropped 77%. What makes you think that we aren't going to drop another 77%, given that everything's the exact same for Bitcoin? Except for now you have an ETF, which is even more risk. And you have some guy that's over leveraging into longs, MSTR. right? Like these people are gonna get wrecked. It's gonna be worse than that. It's gonna be worse than 77%. Last time there was a cycle, that shit didn't exist. Assuming 22 days high from the second high cycle. I think that's what I was saying here with this red line. Oh no, I was saying this. Okay. I was saying that it's gonna come out till 2025 November. That was the cycle high to low. See, so I'm saying there's still bullish potential for Bitcoin. It still could go up, but it's just so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. This is the range that you'd be getting to. That's it. That's it. You'll never get higher than this. You'll never get higher than this. Not in a million years. I don't know what everybody's so raving about. I told people back in fucking 2019 to go buy Bitcoin. 2019. Told people 2020 August. That's when I told people that you should buy Bitcoin in 2 years. That's what I said in August of 2020. In 2 years, buy Bitcoin. So that'd be 2022 August. Boom. You would have been in there. You would have rallied. What? You would have 5x your money in a course of 2 years. Told these motherfuckers, man. Told everybody. Tell everybody this fucking shit. I have no audience. I have zero audience. I have zero viewers. That's the issue. I have zero viewers. There's nobody for me to even be telling. That's why it's like I kind of want to get a job at like some hedge fund or some firm or something. Like nobody knew who Michael Burry was before he fucking went short. I want to go short Bitcoin. Fucking make billions of dollars. It'd be awesome. Fuck Bitcoin, man. Fuck that stupid shit. You know how many fucking losers there are out there that are rich as fuck because of Bitcoin? They make these YouTube videos and they act like they know everything about the world, like they're so enlightened because they have some fucking money that they made off some drop shipping, and then they took that drop shipping money in 2016 and put it into Bitcoin, and now they think that there's some fucking genie in a bottle. Like it blows my mind, man. It really blows my fucking mind. People are fucking imbeciles, man. They're so fucking dumb. Look at this chart. That's interesting. Shows you 2024 and it shows you 2023. 2023 were way more bullish, right? This is by percentage. Could be like 2023, right? You get this little slight dip going into here, and then the relative bottoms right around the same time. Start rallying. Go all the way up to highs, right? It's possible. Be just like that, man. Be a little bit later, like 2020, 2024. This is interesting. Don't listen to this. This is stupid. 31 days volatility curve. Implied volatility. 9 months from now, they're expecting that the market will be lower. That's interesting. So they think by the end of the year, this market's going lower. Interesting. Average volume for 30 days is only 39 million in the queues. So every 30 days, they expect 39 million is going to be moved around. That gives you perspective when people sit there and they talk about, oh man, if I was making money like Kai Cenat,
I just take the $7 million that I'm making every month and I just put it all in the market. Well, you'd be what, like, be like 20% of the fucking market. That's why people hire financial advisors and financial managers because they'll put your money slowly into the market so that you don't have one big lump sum position that loses you money. Let's see. There's two other stocks I want to look at, and then I'm done. WBA did nothing. Actually, yeah, it did nothing. And Lockheed Martin. Went up a little bit, not much. Still did nothing. One more. I want this to fucking burn. I want this to go to zero. I want this to go to zero so bad. So bad. It'd be justice. It'd be poetic justice for what the fuck they did. Crooks. Absolute crooks. 2019, look at this fucking rally. Think about if you were the CEO and you made, and 2019 around December, right around, let's say there. Jesus. You made 25x. Imagine you were the CEO and you made 25 fucking X because of some fucking shit. Oh man, that is crazy. That is what I'm talking about, boys. About how Wall Street really is like the crooks and castles, man. It's really what it is. All right, boys.